Hello, hello. This angle is kind of weird, but I think you can see what I'm doing. So, do you need just one chocolate chip cookie or maybe two? One and one to share? I can help you out. This is one of my favorite things to make, to keep from making a whole batch of chocolate chip cookies, because even if I portion them out into little balls and freeze them, they call my name from the freezer. So I rarely do that anymore. Just one or two chocolate chip cookies. If you're strong, you can eat one and save one. Here's how simple it is. 2 tablespoons of butter, and just microwave it in a coffee mug just long enough to soften it and start the melting process. A tablespoon of granulated sugar and a tablespoon of brown sugar. Dump that in with the butter. It says 1/8 of a teaspoon of vanilla. I just put a little vanilla, just a little bit. Don't measure it. A tiny little bit of kosher salt or any kind of salt, just a tiny little bit. See? And that's it. Stir it up with your fork or spoon, just kind of mix it all together. Nothing real precise here. And then an egg yolk. So the trick is you got to get rid of the white. I mean, you can try to keep the white for something else, but I rarely do. See if I can do this for the whole world to see. Yep, I can do it. All right, so I'm just gonna get the white gone, and then drop in the egg yolk. The first time I ever did this, I did not pay attention to the instructions where it says to ditch the egg white. And I could not figure out why it was so soupy. So just dump that over in there. Wash the eggs off my hands. Have y'all done this before? Super simple. And there's 2 ways to do it, but I'll get to that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna stir in my egg yolk. Kind of noisy. You know, you can buy the mixes where you can do this, but it's so much better to just do it fresh. I will eat cookie and cake batter and dough that's not been cooked. And so I don't like the kind in the jar, the package, because it leaves these little bits of, I don't know if it's the fat or what. I don't really know. But anyway, so just stir it up. There you go. So now I've got 1/4 of a cup of flour. So y'all, this is a lot for if you were thinking of this as just one serving. But if it keeps you from eating an entire batch of chocolate chip cookies, I say it's a win. All right, so I'm just gonna dump in my flour. Stir that in. So I said there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can do it in the microwave and have a chocolate chip cookie in a mug. And I do it that way most of the time. But then you eat the whole thing, unless you've got somebody to share it with. And certainly during this time of isolation, I have nobody to share it with. Okay, so next, chocolate chips. And yes, call me guess if you're watching, I still have my chocolate chip jar. So now you want 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips or so. These are Ghirardelli Bittersweet. Okay, stir those in. Now, if I was going to put this in the microwave and do a chocolate chip cookie in a mug, I would pop it in for 60 seconds. And it'll come out hot and gooey and yummy if you like. I mean, part of it's gooey, part of it's not gooey. Part of it, obviously, if you do it in the microwave, it's not going to be crispy, but around the edges. But, you know, that's just the way it is. But what you can do is take your baking sheet, and if you're like me and you've got your parchment paper on here, then you're not even going to have to wash the pan. So there's a score right there. And then you just scoop it out and it says to, sometimes they get to be really, really big. Maybe when I don't measure my ingredients so precisely. Should have got my spatula out. But I usually do this in the mug. Okay, so there you've got it. 2 portions of decent size chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 for, it says 8 minutes, but 8 minutes is never long enough, so 9 or 10 minutes. And after I take them out, I'll come back and show you a picture. And that recipe comes from the No. 2 Pencil website. She's got all sorts of recipes out there. I sometimes get her emails, but I don't ever cook the stuff, so then I cancel it and get rid of the subscription. Not subscription, but I quit subscribing to her email list. And then I go back and I see something I want and I'll subscribe again. But this one you can get to just by going to No. 2. If you'll search for No. 2 Pencil, like NO.2 Pencil, it'll take you, and she's got, and just search, once you get there, search for chocolate chip cookie in a mug. I don't know that it tells you about putting it in the oven, but it easily converts to that. So there you have it. You can either thank me or hate me, whichever way you want. But this is the way to save yourself from an entire batch of chocolate chip cookies. I'll post a picture. Y'all have a great night.